Hello everyone, the subject which we are going to discuss today is theory of machines. The questions of theory of machines asked in GATE 2016 set 1. If I go to analysis part, the total 2 questions were of 1 marks, 3 questions were of 2 marks in set 1. The total number of questions were 6 and total marks was 8. Now, first was question number 10. A car is moving on a curved horizontal road of radius 100 meter. Okay, so we have a curved horizontal road and a car is moving in this curved horizontal road, and the radius of this road is 100 meter. Okay, and the speed of car is 20 meter per second, with a speed of 20 meter per second. The rotating mass of the engine have the angular speed of 100 radian per second in clockwise direction when viewed from the front of the car. Okay, so spin velocity is given, rotating mass of the engine, that means spin velocity is given as how much? 100 radian per second. Getting this? Next, the combined moment of inertia of rotating mass is 10 kg meter square. Moment of inertia, mass moment of inertia is given as 10 kg meter square. From the magnitude of gyroscopic moment in Newton meter is. So we have to determine the gyroscopic moment. Now, what is the formula for gyroscopic moment? Gyroscopic moment is nothing but I into omega s, spin velocity into precision velocity. Okay, we have the value of I, we have the value of omega s. The only thing which we have to determine is the omega p, precision velocity. Okay, so this will be omega p. This is omega p. Getting this? So how can we determine this omega p? Very simple to determine. Omega is equal to v upon r. Velocity of car is given as 20 meter per second and the radius is given as 100 meter. Okay, so this will be equal to 0.2 radian per second. That's it. Okay, now just put the value. The gyroscopic moment this will be equal to I into omega s into omega p. Okay, just put the values, you will get this will be equal to 200 Newton meter. That's it. Answer. Okay, next is question number 11. A single degree of freedom spring mass with viscous damping has a spring constant of 10 kilonewton per meter. The system is excited by a sinusoidal force of amplitude 100 Newton. If the damping ratio is 0.25, the amplitude of steady state oscillation at resonance is. Okay, so we have to determine the amplitude of steady state oscillation. The condition is the resonance condition. Okay, the amplitude, the formula for amplitude we know what? This amplitude is equal to what? F naught by K upon under root of 1 minus omega square by omega n square whole square plus 2 zeta omega by omega n ka whole square. Okay, this is the formula for amplitude for force damping vibration. Now, for resonance condition, omega is equal to omega n. Omega will be equal to omega n. Okay, so omega by omega n will be equal to 1. Therefore, the amplitude will be equal to f naught upon 2k zeta. Okay, now just put the values. The value of f naught is given as sinusoidal force of amplitude 100 Newton. F naught is given as 100 Newton. Damping factor zeta is given as 0.25. K is given as 10 kilonewton per meter. Okay, so just put the values. So this will be equal to 100 upon 2 into 10 into 0.25. This will be equal to 20 mm. Answer. So the answer is 20 mm amplitude. Okay, next. Next is question number 35. A slider crank mechanism with a crank radius 200 mm and connecting rod length 800 mm is shown. The crank is rotating at 600 rpm in counterclockwise direction. Okay, so this crank is rotating at 600 rpm in counterclockwise direction. Okay, radius is given as 200 mm. In the configuration shown, the crank makes an angle 90 degree with the sliding direction of the slider, and the force of 5 kN is acting on the slider. Neglecting inertia forces, the turning moment on the crank is. Okay, so we have to determine the turning moment on the crank. Okay, turning moment, we know the formula for turning moment. What is this turning moment? This turning moment is nothing but crank effort Ft into R. Okay, and what is this Ft? This will be Ft, the crank effort. Okay, so if I draw this, if I separate it from here and I draw these two parts separately, okay, so this is a slider, a force of 5 kN is acting in the slider. Okay, in the connecting rod, a force acting is suppose Fc. Fc is the force acting on the connecting rod. Okay, the angle is given suppose phi. Getting this or not? Okay. Now, from the equilibrium, this Fc cos of phi will be equal to phi. First thing. Now, this part, the second part, okay, here Ft will be acting here, crank effort, and Fc, connecting rod force, is acting here. Okay, so we have to first we have to determine the relation between Fc and Ft. Okay, this angle is suppose phi, this angle will be phi. Okay, now this Ft will be equal to what? Fc cos of phi. Getting is not? And Fc cos of phi we have already determined, which is equal to phi. Okay, so this turning moment will be equal to Fc cos of phi, which is phi, into R, which is 200 mm or 0.2 meter. So this will be equal to 1 kilonewton meter. Answer. Getting is not? Okay. Next. Okay. So next question is question number 36. This question is of gear train. In the gear train shown, the gear 3 is carried on arm phi. Okay, so we have gear 3 which is carried on arm phi. Gear 3 meshes with gear 2 and 4. So we have this gear 2 through which the gear 3 is meshing externally, and this is gear 4 by which the gear 3 is meshing internally. The number of teeth on the gear 2, 3 and 4 are given. In 2 we are having a 60 number of teeth, in 3 we are having 20 number of teeth, and in 4 we are having 100 number of teeth respectively. If gear 2 is fixed and gear 4 rotates with an angular velocity of 100 rpm in counterclockwise direction, the angular speed of arm phi. Okay, so we have the speed of gear 2 and gear 4. We have to determine the angular velocity, angular speed of arm phi. Now, we will make the table. This is the table. Okay, so what we are doing in this table, the very first thing, we will fix the arm. We will assume that the arm phi is fixed, and we will rotate the sun gear, that is gear 2, by +1 revolution. Okay, so in the first table, in the first part, in the first column, arm phi is fixed and 2 is rotated by +1 revolution. Okay, so the speed of arm phi will be 0. 2 is rotated by +1, sun is rotated by +1. What will be the speed of planet now? So as we know that n3 by n2 will be equal to what? This will be equal to minus of T2 by T3. Why minus? Because they are meshing externally, so the direction of rotation will be opposite. Okay, so n3 will be equal to minus of n2 into T2 by T3. And as we have assumed that the sun gear is rotating +1 revolution, so n2 is equal to 1, so n3 will be equal to T2 by T3, minus of T2 by T3. So this will be equal to minus of T2 by T3. Adding this, similarly, n4 if we want to determine this n4, so what will be the value of n4? Then n4 by n3 will be equal to T3 by T4. Here the direction is same because they are meshing internally, direction will be same. Okay, so this will be equal to what? N3, as we know the value of N3 is equal to what? Minus of T2 by T3. Therefore, N4 will be equal to minus of T2 by T3 into T3 by T4. Okay, so T3 T3 will get cancelled out. We will get what? Minus of T2 by T4. Getting this or not? First thing. Now what we are doing? Now we are rotating the sun gear by x revolution. Initially we assumed that the sun gear is rotated by 1 revolution. Now if the sun gear is rotated by x revolution, the arm is still fixed. So this will be 0, this will be x, this will be minus of x into T2 by T3. Okay, and this will be minus of x into T2 by T4. Heading is now if the arm itself is rotated by y revolution, so arm is rotated by y revolution, speed of arm will be y, the sun gear will be having x plus y, the speed of arm will be added into this, planet gear 3 will be having y minus x into T2 by T3. Okay, and ring gear will be having what? Y minus x into T2 by T4. Getting this? Now just go to the question. Now if the gear 2 is fixed, that means this x plus y is given as 0, which is fixed, and gear 4 is rotated with an angular velocity of 100 rpm in counterclockwise direction. So we have this x y minus x into T2 by T4. This is rotated with 100 rpm in counterclockwise direction. So assume that counterclockwise direction we are taking as positive. Okay, so what are given? This x plus y will be equal to 0, or you can say y is equal to minus x. First thing. Next, y minus x into T2 by T4. This is given as 100. Speed of ring gear 4. Okay, just put the value of x, y plus y into T2 by T4. T2 is 60, T4 is 100. So this will be equal to 3 by 5. This is equal to 3 by 5, y is equal to 100. Okay, so from here you can get the value of y, and from here this y will be equal to 62.5 rpm. Okay, and we assume counterclockwise as positive, and we are getting the value of y as plus 62.5 rpm. That means this y is equal to 62.5 rpm in counterclockwise direction. So the answer should be C, not D. The answer should be C. Getting this or not? Okay. Now last question. Okay, next is question number 37. A solid disc with radius small a is connected to a spring at a point small d above the center of the disc. The other end of the spring is fixed to the vertical wall. The disc is free to roll without slipping on the ground. The mass of the disc is capital M and spring constant is K. The polar moment of inertia of the disc about center is J, which is ma square by 2. We have to determine the natural frequency of this disc. Okay, so first of all let us understand this figure very carefully. We have this solid disc. This is a solid disc whose radius is small a. Okay, the spring is attached with this solid disc, and finally this spring is attached to the vertical wall. Now this spring is not attached to the center of the disc. This is attached at a distance of a small d from the center. Okay, so and we have to determine, we are rolling this disc and this disc is rolled without slipping. Heading this on, we have to determine the natural frequency of this given system. Now how can we determine the natural frequency? So for that we will have to calculate this, we will have to determine the equation of motion. And how can we determine the equation of motion? The first method is the total energy method. That means total energy of this whole system will remain constant. Total energy means total kinetic energy plus total potential energy of the system remain constant. Now what will be total kinetic energy here? So for that, suppose this disc is rotated by an amount theta. Okay, The angle by which this disc is rotated is theta. Now the center distance will move by an amount small x. Suppose center distance point C will move by an amount small x. Point capital D, which is the point where the disc is attached to the spring, that is suppose moved by an amount capital X. Okay, there is a difference between small x and capital X. And what will be the difference? That this capital X will be equal to a plus d into theta. Arc is equal to angle into radius, a plus d into theta, and small x will be equal to a into theta. Getting the difference? Okay. Now, first is kinetic energy. Total kinetic energy will be the linear kinetic energy as well as rotational kinetic energy of the disc. The disc is rotating, it is having some rotational kinetic energy, as well as the disc is translating in the linear direction. So it will be having a linear kinetic energy as well. So total kinetic energy will be equal to half m small x dot square, half mv square. Okay, this is linear kinetic energy. Why we are taking small x? Because the center distance, we are considering the center distance, we are considering kinetic energy of the spring, plus rotational kinetic energy will be equal to half I theta dot square. Okay, the value of I is also given. Now just put the values. So this will be equal to x is equal to a into theta. Just put the value. So this kinetic energy will be equal to what? This is equal to half capital M into a theta whole square, a theta dot whole square, plus half into ma square by 2. I is given as ma square by 2 into theta dot square. Okay, so this will be equal to 3 by 4 ma square into theta dot square. Getting this will be total kinetic energy. Now total potential energy will be potential energy of the spring only. Okay, and that potential energy is nothing but half kx square, and this time x will be capital X. Why capital X? Because this spring is moving by a distance capital X. Okay, the center distance is moving, the center point is moving by a distance small x, the spring is moving by a distance capital X. Okay, so just put the value. Capital X is a plus d into theta, so this will be equal to half k into a plus d whole square into theta square. Getting this? So total energy will be equal to, add kinetic and potential energy, 3 by 4 ma square theta dot square plus half k a plus d square into theta square. Okay. Now what does total energy method says? The total energy is always conserved. That means total energy is constant. So if total energy is constant and if we are differentiating this total energy, that will be 0. The differentiation of constant is 0. So just differentiate this total energy with respect to time and equate it to 0. So d by dt of t total energy, this will be equal to, on differentiating we will get 3 by 2 ma square theta dot into theta double dot, okay, plus 2 gets cancel out, k into a plus d whole square into theta dot, this is equal to 0. Getting this now? This total energy should be equal to 0, or you can say, so total energy should be equal to constant, differentiation is equal to 0, theta double dot plus 2k by 3 ma square into a plus d whole square into theta, this should be equal to 0. Getting this now? Okay, so from here, therefore this term is nothing but omega square. So this omega n will be equal to under root of 2k by 3 ma square into a plus d whole square. That's it. So answer is A. Getting this? So this completes theory of machines portion. See you in the next video. Thank you.